Good morning, you badass motherfuckers. It's the results. Kill excuses. The morning drinking show. I'm your host, Greg. Get back on this motherfucker once again. We getting back on here. We are getting back on here. Doing life. We are doing life. We are doing life. And guess what? We're doing it big. We're doing it consistent. We're allowing ourselves to grow, to thrive, to be alive, right? To be happy, to be sad, all the emotions, but having a control over the emotions. I took a little bit of time off, right? There's been a lot of things coming through recently, and just like anybody else, we all need a little time to step back, to gain perspective, to gain clarity on our situations, our circumstances, right? And I think it gives us gratitude. And as I always say, even if I pull back, it always pulls me back in. And that's how you know this is that real life shit. This is how you know this meant to be. This is flowing from my heart. It's flowing from my energy to give a message, to share my life experiences. And I experience it all the time. I had someone ask me recently, "What do you do?" I said, meaning what is your job? What do you do for a living? And I say, I get paid to do life. And that sounds crazy because, we all want to say, oh, well, I'm a this and I'm a that. And especially if you're successful, it's your title, right? The title is what matters most. For me, not so much. I don't think any of the titles that I've ever had in this life supersede life, right? The essence of really what I'm doing, who I am. The core of who I am is really doing life, right? It's really understanding our existence. It's understanding everything that's going on, everything that's happening, and trying to do it to the fullest. I think that's what gets me going every day, is that I have an opportunity today, right, to wake up, to be grateful, to be thankful, and to experience things in a way that matter most to me, right? And I believe you got the same options, right? That when you wake up and if you're already on the hustle, already on the grind, doing something that you're just not in love with doing, but it's paying the bills, it's getting you through, right? Then it's important that you find gratitude even in that. Can you allow yourself permission to be grateful for everything you got right now, even if it's not like the dream, right? But just to know that you got something that's keeping you going, is keeping you moving in a forward direction, and that there's gratitude in that. That there really is gratitude in all things, knowing that no one's perfect, right? We all have to learn. And most of the time when we learn is when we fuck up. Right there. Oh shit. Some of you might realize, look, that's 11 years and counting. 11 years since this motherfucker got released. From where? Jail, man. Jail. What the fuck am I doing in a cage, man? I ain't a fucking wild animal, right? Not even that wild animals should be in cages. No one, no existence, no life should be in a cage. But then maybe even we think about Earth. The totality of Earth, right, has limits to how far we can go. And that's why I think that in this journey of life, I say, what? How far can I go? A lot of that journey is internal, right? It's an internal journey that presents us with some of the most expansive exploration of this existence, right? To really see how far you can go. It's not to see like what's the farthest place you've been physically on this earth. It's like what's the deepest place you've been inside of who you are, your soul, right? Your spirit, the essence of who you are, right? Because when you get to a certain place, even mentally, of clarity, you can like, there's infinite. You can be anywhere or everywhere all at the same time. And so I'm so grateful, right? I'm so grateful, man, for sobriety, right? That plain and simple. I had someone call me the other night, and I think it's because they're dealing with some addiction issues. This person keeps popping up. If you're watching this, right? I feel for you, man, but I'm not here to save nobody, and I'm not here to be someone's late night chit chat friend when they're intoxicated, right? I got my boundaries, and that shit is impenetratable, right? You don't get access to my life when you're wasted with liquid courage, right? If you're someone that wants to connect with me, right? Connect with me during the day. Connect with me in the middle of your day when you're sober, when you're focused, when you're fucking maybe bummed out, but right, that's when you connect, right? Not when it's the middle of the night, you're wasted, right? I get people, people call me in the middle of the night. That's pretty fucking disrespectful, I would think. I know I've received those calls. I know there's been times where I've made myself available, but never again. I'm not here for that. If you got emergency going on, 911, right? If you have a mental, emotional, spiritual emergency going on, right? You need to have um, a will to get through the darkest nights of your soul, man. I can't think of a time where I had someone to call in the middle of the night to like cry a fucking river to. And that may sound harsh, but at the end of the day, this world, this life is self-rescue. And if you want to improve your life, right? For me, I'd hit rock motherfucking bottom, man. That shit was painful. Look at that. Right? July 25th, 2012, man. We talking 11 years. 11 years of choosing me, of choosing that, you know what? Alcohol is not the answer to my problems. Alcohol isn't just like a social way for me to kick back. No, alcohol was one way that I had to numb my pain, that I had to avoid the situations in my life, right? That's what I used alcohol for. It was never about, oh, it's just for fun, man. I just want to have, I'm an adult and I just like to kick back. No, man, if I'm drinking, I'm poisoning myself. If you're drinking, you're poisoning yourself. You're not going to change my mind, right? Period. We use it as a means of like saying, oh yeah, but this is, I'm an adult and I want to socialize and have fun, and this is how we do it. Think about it. That's what I used to do everywhere I go, right? From pretty much the time I was like, fuck, man, 18 until I hit that rock bottom right there 11 years ago. All I did was get drunk everywhere. Everywhere I go, you got to drink. Go to the movies before they used to sell alcohol in the movies. We sneak in beers. You'd hear the fucking bottles and cans rolling down the aisle, right? You go to the fucking horse races, drinking. You go travel, you're drinking. You go eat, you're drinking. You go anywhere, anything and anywhere I went, guess what? Drinking. Drinking. Because guess what? I'm an adult. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna get wasted. And it never did me no favors. And it didn't leave me in a better situation. It didn't leave me more healthier. It didn't leave me happier, right? Sure, I made some memories, but most of that shit is a blur. Most of that shit wasn't like really, truly fun. When I can be sober and truly present with another person or persons, that's powerful. And then you add nature, right, in the mix. Y'all don't know what you're missing. To be sober minded, to be present with another human being, right? And then to even then add nature to the mix. No alcohol, no drugs, no just fucking checking out, just being present with your energy and theirs. Most of y'all can't do that because you've what? Because you need something else. Because there's this uncomfortability within, right? And I've dealt with that. That's what's so beautiful. That doesn't mean that I don't still stress out about stuff, or I don't still have difficult situations emotionally, mentally, spiritually speaking. But at the end of the day, right, I'm able to be present, right, to be honest with myself and with others, to truly know what I want, know what I don't want, know what I'll accept, know what I won't accept. And that's a beautiful thing, because ain't nobody been on this 11 years and counting, right? Nobody's been on this journey except for me. There's been people that have come for bits and pieces, but I am the totalitation, all of it on my own. The totality of this experience, 4,017 days, right, is what it's been for me to get to this place of sobriety. And it's a beautiful thing, because there's been a lot of dark nights, man. Like, real talk, there's been times I've wanted to delete myself in a sober state of being. I wanted to kill myself because I'm just so down and out emotionally speaking. And that's that real talk here. And a lot of y'all can't handle that, because you can't even handle your own feelings. You can't validate yourself. You need someone else or something else to improve who you are and how you feel about yourself. Instead of you doing the work, instead of you saying, this is my responsibility, it's my time to be with me, to understand myself, to love myself. And there's just nothing but gratitude, man. Beautiful things are happening. Right when you think things are getting tougher and tougher, and they always say, right, like right when it's time to like hit this breakthrough, right? Um, things get really crazy, and things have been getting really crazy in my life. But I'm a different motherfucker right now. Holy shit. I can't even explain it to you. People that are in my life, they know this shit. They're like, damn, dude, you have really changed. You have evolved, right? And that's incredible. To really, I feel it. But when other people sense it and they see it because of who I'm showing up as, the energy I'm rolling in with, they're like, wow, in just a short amount of time. But it hasn't been that short. It's been 11 years of every day choosing life, choosing improvement, choosing growth, choosing healing, choosing to get back up. No matter how many times I have fallen down, dust myself off and continue moving in a forward direction. Whether I'm crawling, whether I'm walking, whether I'm fucking running my ass off or hiking up a mountain, right? Flying off, blasting off, I'm moving in a forward direction. And that's why I get on this. That's why I get on here trying to connect with you guys, because I care. Because I now know that I believe it is truly a requirement for me, right? To share this experience, right? To truly share this. And it hasn't been easy, but I can tell you that I didn't have me, right, in this place to guide that motherfucker out of that dark pit, right? And I know that if I can send this message out there to people that are in their dark, right, bottom, right, that brokenness, bankrupt mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, physically, right, that if I can be someone, a voice that can inspire you, right, to let go of some of the bad fucking vices, the negative bad habits, the shit that is not building you up, but is holding you back and putting you down, right, then I believe that my purpose on this earth is being fulfilled. If I can just reach one person, and I know I've reached many, right? But I like to set that bar low, knowing that if I just reach one person, right, that means I can reach two people. That means I can reach 3, 5, 10, 100, 1,000, right? 10,000, 100,000, a million. It just continues to quantify itself. Because you know that if you can do something in life and inspire one person, whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, whether it's a friend, whether it's family, whether it's a complete stranger, if you can inspire one person, that means you have a gift. And that means that there's other people out there that you can inspire, right? And it doesn't have to be in like the most incredible ways. It can be something very simple, and you never know. Like the other day I was having lunch with someone and I was telling them I was mentioning a quote. And it's really a Jordan Peterson thing. So part of recently, right? Last December, I stopped using THC. And Jordan Peterson has this thing where he says at the end of the day, when you're just chilling, it's quiet, you're chilling, ask yourself, is there something that I could change that if I changed, that it would improve my life? Again, ask yourself, is there something that you could do differently that if you did it, it would change your life? And the thing that kept coming up for me for probably about 6 months was weed, 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 right? I got caught up in the smoke and the edibles and all the bullshit. It got legalized here recreationally in New Mexico. I got caught up in it. And I knew that using THC, it didn't enhance me. It didn't make me more super Greg. It made me just kind of dull and numb out and fucking just like I would catch myself being more impulse to eat snacks and bullshit and unhealthy food. I would see myself kind of being more lazy and not really inspired. And it was something that I know that I was masking some emotional pain and uncomfortable emotions that needed to get processed and worked through. And so last December 1st, I gave it up. And so now we're almost like 8 months of clarity, and my life is now better because I'm free from that. I'm free from alcohol. I'm free from those drugs, right? And I don't put all this shit out here to guilt trip nobody, right? You either want to become better or you're happy being worse. But you're not going to mince words with me and try and convince. You can try and convince yourself that whatever you're doing right now, right, is okay. And it is. It's your life. So it can be okay to you. Who the fuck cares if it's okay to anybody else? Right? It's your life. This is your existence. And I am 100% confident that in this life, you are either getting better or you are getting worse. There's no in between. There's no like you're just kind of maintaining status quo. No, it is either an uphill climb, could be gradual, the steepness of your climb could be gradual, right? Or very like extreme, just like your downhill could be gradual or extreme. But you're either getting better or you're getting worse. And the only way you're going to know the difference is by saying, what? Where are the fucking results? Where are the results in your life? Right? Are the results positive? Right? Year over year, when you look back, are you investing in yourself? Are you investing in your future? Do you have positive results to show for the investments? Or do you have negative results to show for the investments? Worse health, weight gain, right? No improvement in your financial standing and stability, right? And even just at a mental and emotional state of being. Where are you with that? Are you more mentally stable, or are you worse? Right? Are you more codependent on negative vices like drugs and alcohol, or are you less codependent? Right? Are you someone that's learning day by day, week by week, month by month, or you're someone that's like, fuck that. I know I'm good. I don't need to learn new shit. Right? And these are all these, like, we got to have these hard conversations with ourselves. And there's a big part of me that would love to avoid you having to hit that, right? That motherfucking rock bottom. But so many of you some stubborn motherfuckers, that you're going to have to do that. And some of you, the rock bottom is going to be death. And maybe, you know what, that's okay too. Because there's a part of me that believes, guess what? You fuck up this time, you basically check out. You got to do it again and again and again and again. And some of y'all just want Jesus to get you out off the hook. And I hope that that's what happens, right? If that's what you believe, I hope Jesus gets you off the hook and gets you into the happy place called heaven, right? But for the rest of us that aren't so sure about that, we need to put into work on this earth. And you got to save yourself. You got to realize that it's not until you take 100% ownership of your life, right? If you're unhappy with how much money you make, guess what? Whose responsibility is it? Is it the government? They need to give you more money, right? Is it your job? They have to give you more money? Or is it up to you to say, how do you become more valuable? Because the more valuable you become, right, this universe, right, will provide you with more value. It's the law. It's the law of how things work. The more value that you give, the more value you receive. But you have to be operating from a place of abundance. And so many people are not. So many people are operating out of a place of necessity, obligation, right? Almost like servitude, right? And that's not fun. That's not like positive energy. That's like negative energy at best. But when you truly do know what it is that you want to do, and you're willing to like take some risks, right? And like bet on yourself and change up some of the things in your life to improve your life so that you actually have results, guess what? You're going to see positive results. That don't mean it's going to be easy. If you're going down in a negative way on any part of your life, for you to switch up and go 180 and start going the opposite direction, it's going to take work, and it's going to take consistency, and it's going to take commitment. For me to fucking distance myself from that guy, it's been 11 years. But I can post that picture up there, not with like pride and arrogance, right? But I could post that up there saying, look, I have fucked up in my life. I have fucked up in ways that I cannot just erase. I can't just ignore. I got to own that shit, right? And if someone out there watching this sees that and says, oh, this guy's fucked, he's fucked, he'll never change, and you want to judge me based on who I was versus who I am, that's your problem, not mine. And that's something that has been so powerful in this most recent season, is for me to realize that I validate myself. I accept myself. I don't need your acceptance. I don't need your likes. I don't need your hearts. You can laugh at me. You can do whatever you want, because that is you. That's not me. I'm going to keep doing my life, and I'm going to keep living life with intention, and I'm going to keep living life with abundance and high expectations for myself, because I have some major fucking goals. I want to live life so full that when it's over, I'm empty. I got nothing left in the tank, right? I'm going to keep checking boxes. I'm going to keep doing things that truly make me feel alive, that inspire me and inspire me in ways that I spring into action, because that's when it's beautiful. That's when life is really powerful, is when you are inspired to chase and get something out of life, not just the person, not just the feeling, but truly like knowing that this is my purpose, right? And it's like, not everybody's gonna be an influencer. Not everybody's gonna have an ability to be a public speaker or just press live and talk for an hour or two or whatever, right? But I do know that every single person on this planet has some level of creativity that is in you, that when you cultivate it and lean into it and put focus on your creative gifts, right? That those gifts are meant to be shared because they are what make you so special and unique, right? And in the past, I've had some pretty bad creative gifts where I'm like, man, I could drink the most beer in the whole night. Or, we used to have like these beer bongs when I was a big partier in like high school. And I used to fucking just kill everybody at slamming alcohol. Right. I mean, because it was competitive. And some people say, dude, you got a gift. Right. But that's not something that I want to share with the world. Right. Is how great I am at fucking pounding beer, pounding alcohol, getting wasted. That's not something that I desire to like show the world, right? Because the people in my life that had to experience me as a drunk, that's not a whole lot of happy memories. Sure, there's some great times where we're like, yay, party, right? But the real people that had to see the drunk motherfucker day in and day out, week in, week out, like that's not fun. That wasn't good, right? An inebriated fucking human being is not a responsible human being. Right? Sure, you can play it off, walk it off, right? Cover it up, right? But I'm not going to buy that. So I do know now, right, that one of the greatest gifts that I can give myself has been what? Mastery of my emotional state of being, right? Improving myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically every single day. Because then I can then what? Be an example to my kids, right? I ran into someone the other day that's going through a bit of a transformation in life, and they're a father. And yet, how many of us really value being parents? Do you value being a parent? Are you willing to take a step back at your own life and think about how you are demonstrating being a parent? Is your demonstration a parent being someone that literally has almost no healthy habits, right? You're not very active. You don't really eat healthy, right? You don't really even like have healthy conversations. You sit around and watch the fucking tube for just hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. And you got to realize that your children are watching that. You are training your kids on how to do life, or maybe how not to do it. But it's going to take a really huge effort on their part to not mimic your example. So when they see dad and mom, right, you get off of work, you're exhausted, you're tired, you need some drink, you need a drink, you need some wine, and you justify that as like, oh, this is how I relax, instead of maybe going for a walk, going for a hike, eating a healthy meal, meditating, right? Doing something that's healthy and active. Your way of showing them, okay, after you work hard, you get exhausted, you're kind of miserable, you're pretty frustrated with bills. And then the way you unwind from that is by eating unhealthy, by being exhausted and cooking food, and then drinking alcohol, and then just watching TV and fucking crashing out and doing it again the next day. That's the example. That's what you're teaching. That's how you're inspiring your fucking kids. And I know I planted a seed in this man because it's like, dude, it's bullshit. This guy's a fucking warrior, but yet that's the example he's giving his children. That was the example I was giving my children until I said enough's a fucking enough. It's time to man up. It's time to be a warrior. It's time to teach my kids how to fucking thrive through life, how to live an active, healthy, balanced life, right? Where after a hard day's work, we don't just sit there and eat unhealthy food and watch fucking TV all day. We get out and we move our bodies. We get fresh air. We connect with nature. We meditate, right? We listen to positive affirmations. We eat healthy, right? We express our feelings, right? We process our feelings. Like these are the things that really have made a difference in me. And I'm trying to help you guys to see, right? Not with guilt. This isn't about guilt and shame. This is about real talk. This is about saying like how important, right, is living your best life. Like people say you're living your best life. What? Because you go on a vacation fucking once a year? Living my best life. You should be living your best life every day. And what does that even mean to you? Right? Is it just the job you got with some PTO? Right? Or is living your best life literally having a fucking game plan for healthy living, for being an active, healthy human being, living clean and clear, alcohol free, drug free, right? Taking care of yourself, doing self care, meditating on a regular, if not daily basis, right? Or is this just shit you do every once in a fucking while? Because you just don't got time for it, right? When it's like, wait, what is the whole point of this? What is the whole point of this life? To work? You're spending most of your time working and the other half is fucking sleeping. What the fuck, man? Right? There's more to it. There's way more to it. So that even when you're not working and you're not sleeping, what are you doing? You're not working and you're not sleeping. What are you doing? Because if that is all that you got for free time, which is usually right after you wake up, before you go to work, right? And after you get off work, before you go to sleep, what are you doing with that little tiny bit of time? Most of us don't got a lot of time right there, but that's what most of us got. And in that time, if you are not strategic, if you are not focused, if you are not disciplined, and if you are not consistent over extended period of times, you are not fucking doing life to the fullest. So how are you living your best life? Work and sleep. That's the best life. I met someone the other day. She was adamant. Her favorite thing to do was sleep. Fuck. Oh man. I was blown away by that. I was like, really? And I didn't want to push her too hard, but like she genuinely was like, yeah, I like to sleep. I'm like, there's nothing else. And here's the truth. This girl is a big girl. She's a big girl. She's still young, but she's a big girl. And her whole thing is to just, my favorite thing to do on my days off is to sleep. And I'm like, really? Like, what do you do to feel most alive? She didn't have answers for that. She didn't know how she felt most alive. Right? She was just happy saying, I'm going to sleep all day tomorrow. Really? Right? And a lot of you, right, are sleeping while you're alive. Because all of these opportunities to improve your life, all of these opportunities that you've asked for better health, right? You've asked for more wealth. You've asked for a healthier lifestyle. And yet all these thoughts and all these opportunities pop up, even hearing this message. And what? Are you going to do anything about it? Or are you going to just let a whole nother last half of the year pass you by and try and hit that fucking reset button once again with the new year, thinking, hey, new year, new me? When it's like every single day is a new day, which is a new you, which is a new opportunity to start switching shit up. And if you start making some changes now, guess what? 333 is going across the board, right? By the end of the year, you're going to have results, lasting results, but you got to commit. You got to commit. You have to be willing to tell yourself no. You have to be willing to tell other people no, right? Call me back next year. I'm busy doing me. I'm going all in on my life. Now is my time. Period. But what? We need acceptance. We need the hot girl summer. We need a hot guy summer, right? Time to fuck off. Got to get in the fun. Can't miss out on any fun. Fun, man. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm free. I'm grateful I'm out of that cage. I'm grateful that I don't still enslave myself to alcohol and the worries of like drinking and driving and getting wasted and making an ass of myself, hurting other people, right? I'm done with that shit and I'm grateful for it. And I share that message with you today that for 11 years and counting, I've been choosing me. And that's a hell of a fucking road of consistency. That's a lot of consistency, 11 years, right? And I could slip up. That's the truth. I could slip up today, tomorrow, next week, right? I don't think it's likely I would, but man, people relapse after decades and decades of shit all the time. It happens, right? It's not something that I wish for or hope for, but it could happen. And that's why I just continue to stay focused, to know that alcohol is not going to solve my problems. And the problems I have do need solving. I can't avoid them. I can't ignore them. And I can't just like pretend that they don't exist. Right? I need to face my issues, deal with my pain, deal with my circumstances. Right? Quit hiding from the fucking facts of your life. If you don't like them, figure out a way to change up the narrative, to edit the things you don't want to deal with. Right? Because you don't have to be defined by your past. You can truly, truly rewrite your story. That don't mean you can erase it, right? And falsify it. You got to take ownership for all the shit you've been through, all the shit you've done. And if you're someone that thinks, oh man, you don't understand how much bad things have happened to me, I do. I do understand that. But here's what I also know. Hurting people hurt people. So if you're someone that has been incredibly hurt, right? You're a true victim, like you've been like some major shit, I guarantee you have hurt some other people. So you ain't off the hook. And what is super important for you to realize is that you need the spirit of forgiveness. Did you hear that? You need the spirit of forgiveness. You got to learn how to not only forgive others, but to forgive yourself. And forgiving, I'll always have to kind of explain this because the victims, you just don't want to hear that. That you need to forgive everyone that's ever hurt you. You have to do it if you want true peace, freedom, growth, and healing. You have to be able to forgive everyone that has hurt you because guess what? They were hurting. That's the truth. That person that hurt you was also hurting, so they're not free from suffering. And yet you being hurt have hurt others. It's like this fucking crazy cycle. And if you want to free yourself from the cycle, you have to be willing to forgive others. And that doesn't mean that you just forget. That doesn't mean you just let them off the hook and bring them back into your life. Maybe there is some circumstances where they have changed enough. They have evolved enough, and yet you can heal and grow together. I think we should give ourselves opportunities to see if time has passed, if healing has taken place, right? Maybe someone could be better for you as a new version of themselves, as the healed, evolved version of themselves. And for other people, maybe you just need to have peace, right? And the way you get peace is by getting closure, right? By saying, hey, I'm sorry I hurt you, taking some ownership, right? You hurt me, but I hurt you too, and please forgive me, right? And so many of us, we're so fucking bitter, man, about the wounds and the people that have hurt us that we don't want to even realize the destruction that we have caused ourselves, the emotional pain that we have passed on to others. Because I'm telling you, if you have been hurt, right, you have hurt someone at some time in your life, right? And that's a neutralizer that neutralizes a lot of things. So I hope that you'll give yourself that opportunity, right, to really evaluate what do you want, to really evaluate who you could forgive. And it doesn't mean you got to bring them back in your life, but it doesn't mean that bringing them back in your life will be a bad thing. I don't know. Every person has to figure out what's good and what's bad for them, right? Because again, the more bad things you're doing, right, obviously that's not going to result in a positive state of being. And most of us, the worst things that we do is just our thoughts. Our thoughts alone are so negative towards ourselves, towards others. We are so pessimistic. We are so negative that we don't even realize that that is attracting more and more negativity. And most of us want to see the opposite. So even though we think negative, we are negative, we think we're positive. But again, you got to be able to prove it. And the only way you're going to prove it is by having results. If you're not stacking up positive results, right? If things just keep on fucking like creating resistance and blockages in your life, well, obviously there's an opportunity for you to grow, to quit resisting and to actually grow beyond whatever it is that's sort of causing this energy that's holding you back. I'm grateful for my freedom. I'm grateful for you watching the show, tuning in. I'm going to keep getting back on here. That's a commitment. Through it all, I'm going to keep getting on here, right? I hope you guys will support it. Check out the website, resultskillexcuses.com. Check out some hats, get some gear, and let's make this happen. Let's build this tribe of motherfuckers that want to be positive influencers in this world. And it doesn't mean you got to get on here and start telling your story. You can be a positive influencer just being in the restaurant. That's where I go back to that Jordan Peterson story. I was telling somebody that story and the waitress overheard it and was just completely inspired by it, that she had heard something similar and she felt that that was the confirmation she needed to make a shift in her life. And we had this like life conversation right there in the moment. So you never know how you can impact people's lives, but trust me, if you're doing some negative shit, you're impacting people in a negative way. You're showing them what's acceptable, and certainly children, right? If you have children that are involved in your life, if you're doing negative shit, you're showing them what's acceptable. You are setting a fucking standard for them. But if you're someone that can start speaking life into this world, people are going to notice the difference. And you're going to inspire people in ways that you never imagined. And that's where I find myself this day, right? Is inspiring people and just showing up. Showing up for me gives me the opportunity to show up for others, right? And I'm going to keep stacking those results. And I'm going to keep getting back on here, right? With as much frequency as I can, because I really do appreciate this message. I appreciate it. I need this message. That's the truth. I need this message. I listen to my own messages, right, with a regularity. I'm my biggest fan. And you should be your biggest fan. You should be cheering yourself on. You should be your best friend. You should be the person that picks yourself up, that encourages you to keep going. Don't give up. Not this time. Don't give up. If we're going to do this time, if we're going to start, what do we need to do? We need to get sober. We need to start eating healthier. We need to start having a fucking regular exercise program, a regimen. What do we need to do? Guess what? Ain't nobody going to rescue your ass. You got to do it for you. You got to be your biggest fan. You got to be your biggest cheerleader, right? You got to be your coach, period. That's how this world works. That's how this life goes, right? It's great when you have people in your corner, but no one's going to be there 365, 24/7 other than you, and you. So take advantage of it. Cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself because you know the drill. Results kill excuses. It's all on me.